Hey YouTube, this is Rescue Spark Fan 62. It is Monday, March the 30th. So we're almost to April. Now, WWE TKO, we need to talk. The pricing you have for all of your events coming up are completely insane. Most people can barely afford to go to the grocery store to buy food. Most people can barely afford, their medicine and all this other basic stuff, let alone the streaming, the cable, for people who have kids, putting them through school and all this other stuff. And you're out here charging this kind of money for stuff. Now, I get some of this is not entirely on TKO, but a lot of the blame is on them. And I will get into some more of the things here in a minute. But the two biggest things that have come up recently that have been introduced has been the one for the Clash in Paris, or not Clash in Paris, in Italy, PLE coming up in, I think it's late May, and then the other one coming up here in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to start with the one here in a couple of weeks. So I'm not entirely sure if you've heard or not, but you can actually ride with Cody Rhodes on his bus through downtown Vegas to go to Mania. Now, does that include a ticket and stuff? I'm not entirely sure how that works. But one of the good things about it is you can get a look at behind the scenes at Mania. I would assume with this would mean stuff like, you can't take pictures of, I'm doing two names here, LA Knight and Braun Breaker having a conversation about their match coming up, or Tiffany Stratton and Julia, or whatever. That is the type of thing. I mean, I would assume they would probably say no cameras unless it is to take pictures with the stars. But other than that, you can also, like I said, ride on Cody's bus through Vegas, where you're also going to have a professional tour guide, I guess, talking to you about some of the local landmarks through Vegas and such. And this is all for about $10,000 per person. Here is the thing. Well, that does sound like a cool experience to do. The fact that experience can cost almost as much as a brand new Ford Fiesta. Is insane. While the Fiesta can get you from point A to point B, this is just a one-time thing. Now, is that for both Saturday and Sunday? Is that for just one day? I don't know. That is the thing. And that is the thing I am talking about with some of these prices. Now, like I said, some of this is not on TKO. This is through another party WWE goes through. I think it's called like On Location. So I'm sure like they split this between them. But still, something like that is crazy considering most people are barely affording to go through everyday life. Especially stuff like fast food and all that, which will do a video of. But $10,000 per person for something like that is completely insane. And this goes to show that people like this are just in it for the money. Now, I get WWE is a publicly traded company. They are looking after their stockholders, their shareholders. But something like this is completely insane. And then going into Clash in Italy in late May or early June. With that, they have a package called Champion Plus, which is ticket plus priority pass. So with this, you get a front row ticket to the show. You get a reserved seat and welcome basically the pre-show along with some other stuff. And you get appearances plus a wine tasting with a WWE superstar. The problem with this is the way they are marketing this is it sounds like you can taste wine with somebody like Liv Morgan. When in reality, you could have a wine tasting with Maxine Dupree or BFAB or somebody like that. That is the thing I'm talking about. And the way Liv Morgan has been hyping this as well is it makes it sound like you're going to have wine tasting with her. The next thing is you can also get a backstage experience at the show, which that alone would be kind of cool to see, especially in another country, just to see how it is backstage compared to here it is in the States. You have a private pasta making experience with a WWE superstar. Again, you don't know if it's going to be Liv Morgan or BFAB or Maxine Dupree. Or for all you know, you get Otis and Tozawa. You get reserved seating at pre-show hospitality with a WWE superstar appearance. Like I said, you don't know if it's Liv Morgan, Maxine Dupree, BFAB, or Otis and Tozawa. And you get a ringside opportunity where I guess you can get yourself like, I don't know if they'll let you in the ring, but probably at least, have your arm on the ring or something like that. And this is for $11,500 a person. Again, like I said with the Cody Rhodes bus ride. All of that seems cool, but some of that is very vague when it comes to that because you don't know if outside of the Cody Rhodes one where you're going to be with Cody Rhodes, the other with the Champion Plus in late May, that you don't know if you're having it with Liv Morgan or Otis and Tozawa. Nothing against them, but it's just $11,500 a person. And if there's two of you, you're basically paying almost $24,000, give or take, for two people. And that alone is insane. Now, I want to get to WrestleMania. Look at all of the stuff WWE is doing to promote selling more tickets to WrestleMania. It sounds like they've backed down from the blackout throughout the city regarding people's TVs, as they were doing a blackout to kind of promote selling more tickets to the show. And all of this other stuff. And this is the stuff I am talking about. WWE used to be for families only. That is why Vince McMahon priced it toward where families can afford to pay for, a t-shirt for little Timmy or, something like that. Now, while he did make some things expensive, that was, no, like the replica title belts are, $500 to $700 and stuff like that. But the way TKO has done it is they have completely flipped it over its head since they took over in, I think it was 2022. A shirt now is close to $40 to $50, and all this other stuff, and that you don't even know if they're going to have that shirt or not. And it's all of this different stuff, and this is the type of stuff I'm talking about because they are pricing away the hardcore fans. And not to mention, too, when you have to have Netflix, you have to have cable, just to watch these shows. Oh, and not to mention, too, unless you have it through your internet provider, such as Spectrum and all of that, you're paying $30 a month for ESPN Unlimited. On top of all of the other stuff that you're paying for a month. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. They're not making it to where they can fit everything in one place. They're making it where everything has to be different, and you keep paying for, 4 to 5 different things. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff. And how, they're saying like the average fan is paying around, I think it's like $100 a month just for, ESPN Unlimited, Netflix, cable for Raw and NXT, and all of this different stuff. This has to change. Otherwise, you're only going to get the people who have the most money going to these shows. At a later date, I am going to do a video about my overall thoughts on the TV shows. Maybe it'll be today, maybe it won't. I don't know. But this is the type of stuff I am talking about.